Hey folks, welcome back to more Colorado Rockies here in September. We've gotten a couple games in September, but again, we are coming down to the end of things. Look at the standings. Half a game away from the Padres. Still looking for the first division title in our history. Look at our record at home, 43-26. We do really, really well at Coors Field. We've done better than everybody else within division. Everyone else actually 500 or below in the division. We're the only one with a winning record in our division. We're streaking at the right time. We have picked up some of this ground. Still behind the Pirates. If we don't win, we'd be the number 2 wild card, that's where we were when we won the World Series. But I would love to get out of the wild card and get in. I mean, obviously the Cubs and the Phillies, we're kind of right on the brink with the Phillies. Cubs are just a little bit ahead of everybody else. Them and the Pirates are actually the 2 best teams in the league, and they're in the same division, so that's pretty cool. So that's what we're looking like right now in the standings. If you look at the American League, just for shits and giggles, Rays killing everybody, Twins and the Guardians above everybody, Astros and Angels coming down to the wire here with the Guardians, Angels, and White Sox really have it clinched up, barring any drastic changes one way or the other. Look at our calendar. Look at where we have to go. We got Houston. One more game against them. We beat them 8-3 here in this game. So we have one more. Chicago, they're decent. Washington, they're okay. St. Louis, not very good. Atlanta, not very good. Arizona and the Dodgers. We've beaten up on these teams. So we have really not one series where we should lose. The Chicago series is probably the most interesting. But between Washington, St. Louis, Atlanta, and then Arizona and the Dodgers a couple of times, we should be in a very, very good spot to have a really solid rest of the month. If you look at the Padres, what they have on their schedule, they have the Dodgers and the Giants. Both of them, one more game for the Giants and the Dodgers in 2 different series. But they have Cincinnati, who's really good. They have Pittsburgh, who's really good. So they do have a Detroit. They have a Toronto, who aren't that great. Obviously, San Francisco is okay, and obviously division. And then the Dodgers, kind of the same boat as the Giants. This could be very pivotal for us. It is September call-ups. This is what we have done for our roster. Brandon Barrea is back up. Vinny Garcia did go to the IL. He's a shoulder pull. He will be about 2 weeks or so. We just put him on the IL. Also, Dan Wyatt has come back up. Was having a really solid season in AAA. And last year was a solid guy. We just added more. So we had some depth with Dan Wyatt. Really like having him around. For the call-up in the position player group, it's going to be Troy Wood. We're going to be seeing his Rockies debut actually today against the Astros. So we're going to be throwing him in right now. And also another thing to look at, David Howard. We have moved up to AAA. He's been doing great. Some other promotions and demotions. I think that's really the only corresponding move. So that's what we have going on in that department. For Wood, we are going to be giving him playing time. It's going to be against lefties. We're going to throw him in left field. We're actually going to move Jazz Chisholm to third base. Jazz Chisholm being one of the superstars on the team is great, but also you forget he's kind of a utility guy. He can play all over the infield, all over the outfield. The only place he can't play is first base and catch. So why not use that versatility? Use him, be able to kind of mix and match our lineups, mix and match our guys to get the best players possible. Starlin Thompson, he'll go to the bench. He's been doing fine, obviously having a very good year, but struggling a little bit against lefties. Obviously, that's where Troy Wood excels at. So this is not a demotion for Starlin Thompson, but this is just trying to get Troy into the lineup, get him out in the outfield. We know the fielding's not that great, but we think he's going to be our long-term outfielder. This upcoming season, Stephen Kwan is up. His contract is up. Most likely won't be brought back just because we want to try to save this money again. And we have Wood. Chisholm probably moves over to center field. He's still athletic enough to play there. And then obviously Nolan Jones still doing his thing in right field. Opens up third base again for Sterling Thompson, or if we want to make another upgrade somewhere else. And so that's what we got right now. Let's jump into these games and see where we are at the end of the year here. And now that we showed where Troy Wood will be playing, let's show Troy Wood playing. Yes, won't be his Major League debut, but will be his Rockies debut here against the Houston Astros, another formidable foe. We've been playing a lot of really good teams down the stretch, and we've rose up to the occasion, it seems. We're about a win or two separating us, and it will be Tanner Bybee at the plate. And here's our first look at Troy Wood. Again, a guy that probably was ready right out the gate, but we kept to our guns, we kept to our team. Basically, probably got another year of control with him. Wasn't a manipulation thing. I really don't believe in that. If you're ready to go, you're ready to go. He was ready to go, but we also had 26 other guys who were also ready to go. Felt like there weren't enough injuries in the outfield. He was the first call-up in case of an injury. We just didn't have any, luckily for us. But now we feel like Troy Wood's going to be a guy for us. And I'm very excited about him being a guy for us. And let's see what he looks like here in the first taste of action here with the Rockies. First pitch he is swinging at goes to shortstop. It will end a little rally there. We had 2 on, 2 out. And Pena, former Maine Black Bear, fun fact, puts him out. And that will do it for that inning. You see him later on, another pitch right on the outside edge. And again, Pena gets him out. So back-to-back situations where Wood does not deliver. And here he is in the field. Brian De La Cruz up at the plate, and a very high contact guy, not a whole bunch of power, not the best fielder at the moment, and decently athletic at the moment. Again, Troy Wood, just a bat, just a dude. This is going to be most likely our Stephen Kwan replacement. I don't see Stephen Kwan staying with us past this year. It could change, but as of this very moment, if you were to put a gun to my head, that's what I would tell you. So this is a guy that we're definitely planning for the future. Chisholm getting older. Jones getting older. You maybe want to move some things around. We needed some outfield help. And look at that. First Rockies hit by Troy Wood. Love to see that. Look at him stay through it. We saw him down in AAA earlier this year where he was a stone-cold fox. This one just dumps it right into center field. And here we are in the 8th inning. 4-5 ball game. Colorado down. And popped up. Yeah, tough swing. Tough swing there. Really was a tough swing on the outside part of the plate. And that will do it for the debut. Troy Wood. So that's it. Got to hit. Didn't drive into anybody. All right. This game against Chicago, as we're in Colorado. Fun fact. This game was fun for a couple reasons. This is just to watch. Let this unfold. Quentin Priester is going to be on the mound for them. Bud Leonard will be on the mound for us. 4.26 ERA, 158 strikeouts in 100 innings. Strikeouts a little bit lower on him this year, but still putting together some good production. Ramses Feldman, the former #1 overall pick, swinging it in the south side. South side? South side. North side? South side. Chicago White Sox, south side. That's how I remember it. North side are the Cubs. I believe I got that right. Lewis Robert doesn't care what fucking side he's throwing on. Can't throw that pitch to him. That is one of many home runs that we will see today. I promise you that. We have a home run montage to show you after we get back past this first inning. So buckle up, grab your popcorn. If you like dingers, you're going to like this episode. You're going to like what we show you. Jack Sawinski. Unimpressed. Jazz Chisholm over to first base. That will do it for the first inning. 2-run home run by Luis Robert Jr. Almost Colorado Rocky Luis Robert Jr. It worked out with Stephen Kwan, but still wish we got Robert Jr. Chicago White Sox guy. Irks me to no end. Quentin Priester. 17 wins. 335 ERA. Yeah, he does not like Colorado. Colorado is not like, he must have been texting, DMing everybody unflattering comments about everyone's mothers, because they took this matchup with Quinn Priester seriously. Double in the right gap, now double in the left gap. Here's a run. Put it on the board. A lot more runs to come after this. I promise you. Nolan Jones He gets a double, RBI, 35th of the year. He wasn't hitting all those doubles. He's really cracked into the doubles this year. Really unlocked him as his best hitting season. Jazz Chisholm, he's going yard. Right here, over the wall, home run. Coors, Jazz Chisholm, line shot. Makes it 3-2. Colorado, just like that, we are in the lead. His 34th of the year. Colorado loves Jazz. Do you love Jazz? You like Jazz? Colorado likes Jazz. That one, absolute line drive. Almost hit a guy in the bullpen. Tommy Domine, he's up now. He's hitting this one very, very well. This is going to leave as well. Tommy Domine with 2 outs. He goes fishing, puts that one into left field. Absolutely clobbers one. 19th of the year for Domine. Really, again, love the break. Tommy Domine used to pray for times like this type stuff from Tommy Domine. Next pitch, Ezekiel Tovar. What's he going to do? Yeah, pimps this one. This is high. This is deep. Going back is the left fielder. He's looking up, jumping at the wall. Can't bring it in. Home run by Ezekiel Tovar. Back to back is right. Back to back like I'm on the cover of Lethal Weapon. Talk about it. Try to strike a chord, but it's probably a minor. All right, we'll stop it. All right, Kendrick Lamar won that beat way back in the day. All right, Ezekiel Tovar, welcome, welcome, welcome. Troy Wood with a runner on first base. He's hitting this one, sinker down low. This is going back. Roberts going back. He keeps running. He runs out of real estate. This is gone. 7 runs, 4 home runs for the Rockies here in this inning. Absolutely crazy. Chisholm, Domine, Tovar, Troy Wood with a home run. He's been killing it. 432 feet, dead center. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Quinn Priester. Cue the music. Let us watch the rest of these home runs. I hope you enjoy it. We score a whole lot more than this. We win this game, fun fact. All right. Grant Taylor, you're our puppet now. Play the music. All right. That's enough fun. We saw some highlight defensive plays. We saw some home runs. We saw some really fun game today. A little condensed version for you as we beat the absolute piss out of the White Sox here. And that will do it. All the backups were in this game as we win this one. 18-4 ended up being. Colorado wins again. That is faux show. And yeah, we sock it to them. We sweep the White Sox, a really good team. I mean, you wouldn't see it by this performance, but they were a really good team. So it's good that we get a win against a pretty good team. Ramsey Feldman had a hit. They had 5 hits total, 3 home runs. Absolute crazy box score. Priester, 7 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Moved his ERA over half a run. Taylor gave up 3. Medeiros gave up 4. Iriarte gave up 4. Look at this. 19 hits, 18 RBIs, 18 runs, just 3 strikeouts. Look at this. Look at this. 4 hits for Amador, 3 hits for Jones, 2 hits for Chisholm, 2 hits for Romo, 3 hits for Wood. Double by Romo, Jones, Gehringer, Amador, triple by Amador. He had a cycle in this game. Home runs by Dominate, 2 for Jones, 2 for Wood, Amador, Ezekiel Tovar, Chaz. Look at they're messing up the box score. You can't fit everything in there. This was just an absolute pounding. Leonard went 6, gave up 4. Then Garcia gets the save. 3 effective innings of relief. Then we have the St. Louis Cardinals. Mark Winchester going to be pinch hit for Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones is going to come in and try to win this game against the Cardinals. Tony Santillan, I think is how you say it. He is on the mound for the Cardinals. First pitch is going to be a double that is going to bring across the tying run. So scoring, I believe it was Jazz Chisholm, and all of a sudden tie ball game, just 1 pitch. And Nolan Jones also extends his hitting streak to 10 games. So you love to see that. Sterling Thompson had multiple walk-offs last month. And can he do it again here against Santillan? Santillan, whatever it is. Santillan, Santa Maria. I don't care. I don't know. Who knows? Do you know? I don't know. Are you a friend of Tony Santillan? Are you going to be mad at me? Are you going to be mad at Sterling Thompson? He's going to take him to left field, much like the walk-off earlier that we saw last time. He's going to walk it off again. Sterling Thompson. 4 walk-offs in the last 2 months. You love to see it. A crazy 6-week stretch. For the Colorado Rockies, Sterling Thompson hogging all the fun to himself. You love to see him come up to bat at the end. Warning, Mermagul, old friend, has to watch his friends win against his new team. We're approaching the final week of the season. We're here, 87-69. We have the Dodgers. We have the Diamondbacks. We look at the standings. The Padres have fallen off a bit. Dodgers officially eliminated, at least from the East or the West. Yeah, they cannot win the division. They are still technically in the hunt for the wild card. Right now, it's the Reds, Diamondbacks, Pirates, and the Padres are right there. Pirates have fallen off a decent bit, only at 86 wins. They were like 81 when we checked the beginning of the month, so they've really fallen a bit. We have overtaken them. Cubs have clinched the Central. The Phillies have clinched the East, and we are looking to try to clinch the West. Elimination number for the Diamondbacks is 4. Padres, it is 2. We'll kind of be going game by game and checking out, see who's doing what, so we can find ourselves, see if we can clinch this division straight up. Padres, Dodgers, they're playing for the life. We have the Dodgers here, the Diamondbacks. We have 2 potentially playoff bound teams. It's not going to be easy these next 6 games. Rays, this was all but done in like June, so they officially clinch it. Twins and Guardians, they clinch playoff spots, and the Astros and the Angels have clinched postseason appearances when it's not quite over yet. But right now, it's just basically one final wild card spot between the White Sox and the Red Sox. And it's really just the White Sox. Like, they have to lose all these games. Red Sox and the Mariners have to win all these games. So White Sox, Angels, Guardians is 99.9% chance going to be your American League wild card. Let's kind of go here by here. We'll simulate this. You lose to the Dodgers. All right, Isotopes are moving on. Love to see that. All right, we've lost 2 to the Dodgers. Diamondbacks are right on our tails. All right, win that one. Look at this calendar. 2 games. We have clinched a postseason berth at least. Still a lot to be decided. We have to win 2 games here against Arizona. Actually, I think they have to sweep us, no? Lose that one to them. Look at the standings. They've also clinched a spot, so now there's 1 more game left in the wild card. Padres, Reds. Are they playing each other? No, I think the Padres are playing the Pirates right now. They've gone up to 88 wins. The Reds are playing the Marlins right now, who are 500. It'll be interesting to see. A big lead. And that's it. We have clinched the division for the first time in team history. The wild card is completely up here. You love it. You love it. Look at that. This is crazy. This is your postseason. These are your playoffs. I am super, super excited. Let's jump in here. Let's watch. Try to get 90 wins and wrap up this regular season. As per tradition, we are going to look at the final game of the regular season. Right now, I think we have just about everything clinched up. It wasn't like last year we were looking at a whole bunch of different scores. 89 wins for us. And we have our first division title in team history locked up. We love to see it. However, we are still going to play all of our regular starters. I think there's some seeding involved here that we could be looking into. We did win last night, 10-4. Lost game 1 of the series, 6-5. So very interested to see how we play today, knowing that everything's kind of clinched up to see if we keep our wits about us here. We got Chris Paddock, 4 ERA, 120 strikeouts, 167 innings, 10-10 record, 30 starts. This is a team that's invested heavily in their pitching, both in their bullpen and in their pitching staff. And also, the team gave up 2 pretty good bullpen arms, thinking that they were out of the race. You weren't out of the race. They really kicked it on, so I guess it works. They kick it on, plus they get some players and prospects to help them out. And that's a 12-6 curveball that should have been in Utah, but Nolan Jones just got under it, and that will do it for the first inning. For Paddock, the first half of the first inning, the Colorado half is over. The Arizona half coming up, and look at this. Jones right on it, but just right under it. J.J. Rose will be our guy to exit us in this series. Probably our best pitcher, both in terms of the on-paper numbers and the underlying numbers. Just a super solid all year, 3.51 ERA. Definitely the best ERA we've had. And he walks the first batter of the game in Vidal Brujan, and that allows a runner on for the Diamondbacks. And Tommy Troy said, "Thank you, friends, because now I get 2 RBI instead of 1 for this absolutely piss-missile home run. So thank you very much." So J.J. Rose working for the enemy. I have to cut him now. Got it. I mean, what else can you do? Get up a home run to the other team. Sabotage. It's finest level. No, obviously. Just joking. But, yeah, I would have liked to see not a home run there. That's just me, but whatever. We fall behind Arizona 2-0, and all right, maybe J.J. Rose is an enemy of the state. Josh Naylor going deep off the lefty, and now it's 3-0 Arizona. What is going on, J.J. Rose? Where do your affiliations lie, my friend? I remember Colorado giving you a World Series ring, not Arizona. I remember Colorado. You threw a no-hitter for Arizona. What is going on? William Contreras, he strikes out. Now a guy that probably would have killed a lefty, and maybe I wouldn't be so mad. But the other two, Tommy Troy gets a hold of the first one. Lead-off walks, man. Lead to disasters. And there you go. Top two, Nolan Gorman with Tommy Domine and his 877 OPS on deck. And that 877 will have a runner on as Gorman goes up the middle, gets a single for his efforts. And we are in business. And look at that. Luis Rengifo diving to try to stop that ball from going in the outfield. It's going to hurt his shoulder. And Gabriel Arias is going to come in and play second base for the rest of the game. All right, there's that. Nothing coming of that, however, and we have to jump all the way up to the fifth inning to see any other action. And Ezequiel Tovar, that 12-6 curveball that Jones should have put into the stratosphere, ends up being a double for Tovar. 26th on the year, big bounce back year for him. Did not have a good year last year. Broke his shoulder or tore, dislocated his shoulder here opening day last year. And finishing off strong in the house that broke him. Nothing to come of it with the ground out there, but it is what it is. Orlando Arcia, lefty killer. What does he do? He kills lefties. And that kill shot on the lefty, J.J. Rose gets the lead off double. He was doing so well until right now. So we'll see if he can keep the Arizona Diamondbacks at bay. Tommy Troy, 1 for 2. Already got to Rose this time. Rose knocks it down. Can't quite glove it. Thompson, the throw is too late. And make it 4-0 Arizona with Troy driving in 3 of those. J.J. Rose shaking up a little bit, but he'll be okay. He'll stay in. Corbin Carroll, swing and miss at that. Striking out, throw him out to end the inning. Hit and run in place, but they could not execute. And getting out of the jam is Colorado. Do give up a run, however, but they'll strike him out, throw him out. You love to see it. Thing of beauty between Romo and Tovar. Josh Naylor again? Josh Naylor a second time? J.J. Rose, president of the Josh Naylor fan club. He had Josh Naylor over 6 total bases today, I guess. 6.5 or something. I don't know. This was the absolute rocket. Naylor, not known for hitting lefties all too well. Gets 2 pretty big swings off of our resident lefty. Nolan Jones, known for hitting righties well. And look at him, hitting well off a righty. Punches that one into right field and over the fence. And the 32nd home run for Nolan Jones to cap off his season. Hit the ball so hard it got brighter in here. Did you see that? Hit the ball so hard it got brighter in here. And very valiant effort for Chris Paddock. Really good game for him. He'll finish the day with 6+ innings pitched. That will do it. They're going to save him for, I guess, maybe the playoffs. We'll see where they end up falling in this wild card race. And Lewis Cox, he's going to come in at 8.78 ERA in 13 innings. Doesn't get too much time and hasn't done well with the time he has got. And he continues here. Tovar, left center, dropping. Domine, enough speed to get all the way around third base and score. Throw comes into the cutoff man. It is now 5-2 Colorado. Don't count out the Rockies. You know how much they love stirring up trouble here in the later innings. Good pitch, curveball on the inside part. Tovar just turned those hips, got those arms through the zone and barreled it up. And for the second time this inning, they will make a switch. Abner Uribe, who was a reliever of the year in 2028, to come in now doing some shutdown work for the Diamondbacks. Can he beat Drew Romo? He can. Slider inside at 81. Abner Uribe is a dude. And they have a bunch of dudes in that bullpen. They have Uribe. They have Evan Phillips. Cox is an up-and-coming guy. They have some really good guys. Obviously, that rotation is awesome, too. With they just newly added Brian Bayo, Hunter Brown, Chris Paddock. So they have a really good, solid team. We've seen them over the last few years. Met them in the playoffs the last 2 years. Knocked them out in our World Series run. They knocked us out last year. So this is a team we just want not in the playoffs. We don't want to face it. Dan Wyatt is in. He was our call-up in September on the pitcher side, and that's going to give way to Marco Garcia. We're going to put the lefty against Troy. We'll see if that does anything. First pitch inside. 1-0 count. Troy, middle of the field. Kwan, he can't quite get to it. It's going to get by him. And Tommy Troy drives in his 5th run of the day. Absolute crazy game by Tommy Troy and 6-2 Diamondbacks. And that might be all she wrote. Top 9. It's now 7-2. Did not get better. And Bellinger against Tovar to Corbin Carroll. And that will do it for the regular season here against the Arizona Diamondbacks. We lose, 7-2. We pummel the White Sox. We get clipped by the Snakes and see how it does. But we're looking very good. We're feeling very good coming into the playoffs coming up here. Again, we have a win in the division. We clinched it for the first time in our team's history. We are ready to see what the playoff bracket looks like for us. I, for one, cannot wait. Stephen Kwan, no hits at the top of the lineup. Jones, our top 4 went 1 for 16. Jones hit that home run, but the bottom lineup did some work, but not enough. Tovar, a couple of doubles, home run from Jones. J.J. Rose, 5 2/3, 5 earns, not the best start from him. Vidal Brujan got the started with the walk, the only walk of the whole game, and that was it. Tommy Troy, 4 RBI, and Josh Naylor struck again with a 3rd RBI. Just 2 home runs for Naylor, a home run for Troy. They really did all the damage in this one. Paddock gets the win, 6 innings, 4 hits, or 4 strikeouts, 4 hits, and really good job by the bullpen. End of season. Kind of look around, and as always, we start in the minor leagues. As always, we start with Double-A, and with always, seems like we start with Robert Cairo. We have this list sorted by OPS. Obviously, offensively is kind of where we are looking at with these players. Who did well offensively, who didn't do well offensively, all that big fun stuff. Robert Cairo had himself another phenomenal year. 13 home runs, 53 RBI, 48 steals for him. He is one of the biggest risers in all of minor leagues. Almost a 5-WAR season in Double-A. In just like 125 games. He has been absolutely spectacular. High average over 300. OPS up near 890. This guy's probably going to be his bat seems like it's ready. It's just everything else. Making sure that fielding is good. Obviously not in a good place to play shortstop. But we shall see. This guy has been absolutely incredible. Emery Morales, in his first real taste of action in the minor leagues, he went out and showed out. 84 RBIs, 14 home runs, 72 walks in 131 games. Isn't striking out a whole bunch. 32 doubles as well. This is exactly what we are looking for Emery Morales. DeAndre Hiller split some time at second base, and he just keeps hitting. He just plays a little bit above where we think the talent is right now. Has done some big growth, especially in the power department. 8 home runs, almost 20 doubles, 11 stolen bases, 781 OPS, a WAR at 0.5 just due to that fielding not being fantastic. 14 errors, but again, he's really working. He's really putting in the work, and we love what we've seen from DeAndre Hiller now at 23. Maybe 1 or 2 more years in the minors, but he could be a bench option, a depth option for us pretty soon. Winston Estrada, this is where these OPS started to fall off a little bit. Winston Estrada, contact bat in left field. He did well in his time. 9 home runs, 42 RBI, 21 steals. You love to see it. Cole Spanos only had a couple of at-bats, so not really much to see there. Christian Nam, he got hurt for a little bit, but, the power's there. He's slugging a good amount. 748 OPS. Not striking out actually a whole bunch. You would think he would be striking out a little bit more, but only did play in about 80 games. So not much to see from him. Then Fred Gerber really took a big step back power-wise, especially against lefties, and that was his big calling card. So that was his one defining skill, was being able to mash lefties and really mash him. He's a really good fielder, has some good athleticism, 21 stolen bases last year, but definitely did not produce with the bat, and maybe his future isn't as secure as we thought it might be coming into the season. These guys struggle a little bit, at least in terms of the OPS department. Derek Connolly split that time at second base with Hiller, a little bit farther along developmental-wise. Really good athlete, but doesn't really have any true defining skill yet. And coming up at 24 years old, it's interesting to see. Probably needs to be protected in a year or two. We'll see if we do that, but that's for a later date. Ray Arturo, depth outfielder, okay. William Kim, just again kind of struggling from the plate in like back-to-back years. This might be what he is, and it's going to be like a depth outfield option, just with really good fielding and speed, like a off-the-bench burner, and that really might be it. David Bike got most of the time at catcher. Solid for a catcher. And these two guys did not really have much in terms of full playing time. Here are your WAR leaders, just like that. So these two guys are our big fish, really, down in AA, position player-wise, and they were awesome. Another guy was awesome, David Howard. He has moved up to AAA. We'll see him in a little bit. Now over to the pitching side. Let us sort this. We'll go just by plain WAR here. Jose Corniel, one of our the top pitcher in our organization, or at least AA in terms of WAR, at a 2.91 ERA, 141 innings pitched, and really what I really want to be looking for. K per 9, walk per 9, home runs. So these five right here, WAR all the way to FIP is where I want to be. So let's actually go up by FIP, because that's really a bit more important. Eli Saul, 4.51 ERA as a reliever. This guy's 28 years old. Not really much to talk about. Let's move over back to Corniel. 9 Ks per 9, really good. 3 walks per 9, solid. And a 0.5 home runs per 9, awesome. We had a lot of home run preventers here in AA. You see these home runs per 9 do not go up over like 0.6 something. So we kept the ball in the ballpark, especially in a home run heavy environment. Our AA park is. We did a fantastic job. Jonas Grant, another guy that we're looking for in the future. FIP about 3.1, ERA 2.41. Is a guy who split some time in the rotation and in the bullpen and was phenomenal at 22 years old as a lefty, especially looking for a lefty to add. Maybe this is one of those guys we look maybe to add in the offseason to our big league team as a lefty. Ken Yamazaki in his first season started off a little bit rough. Came right back down to earth, a 3.32 FIP. We'll take it, 149 strikeouts in 149 innings. Good for basically 9 K per 9. The walks were a little high at 4, but the home runs kept down there at 0.66. So super solid year for him. Vinny Cole, another super solid year. He was mostly in the bullpen, had one start. We actually got to see that start where he was phenomenal. 10 of his, basically, a seventh of all of his strikeouts came in that one appearance, and 7 innings there, and the other 80 out of the bullpen. He was great. A guy that we may be looking to be more as a bullpen guy in the future until he gets a spot in the rotation, but that's where he's going to be progressing in the bullpen like a lot of these guys are. Bernard Caruso, solid year. We like the development he took. These are the numbers that we're expecting from him. We could get the walks down a bit, but this is kind of the guy that we expect him to be, a good pitcher. We'll see where we put him next year. At 21 years old, he might be ready for AAA. David Moore, our prized possession down here. Strikeouts just keep bumping up just a little bit here and there. Still 6K per 9. I think the ace potential there, you need that those strikeouts to be in a good space to have that ace potential. This kind of caps him. That was, who was it? We had a pitcher, Omar Cannon? Was it Omar Cannon? Where it was his K per 9, his strikeout numbers just might limit him. Maybe that's the name I'm thinking of, but we'll see what we do with David Moore here. Again, just a really solid pitcher. Christopher Sutton had a really bad year on paper, 5.72 ERA, but the FIP says 3.5. K's walks and home runs per 9 look really solid. I really don't know what is the issue with him this year. Maybe just a lot of unluckiness. But definitely the FIP number and those per 9 numbers really give me that sense that, this is not the worst year. And this might be an outlier year for him. Also funny, we think he has some of the best home run prevention on the team, but also gave up the most home runs on the team, which is very interesting. Alfred Marino, he's had 44 saves, did blow 10 of them. However, this is a guy that we've been developing for a little bit. I don't know how far he is from development, just depth out there. And Jose Ornelas did not have the best season as one of our starters, but we love his ability to go deep into games. 21 wins, 12 losses in 72 games out of the bullpen. 21 wins. At 172 innings, did he lead our team in innings pitched? He might have. Second out of the bullpen. Love to see it. Here are the league leaders. Here's where we rank in the top 8. Robert Cairo, Emery Morales, top 3 behind Raymond Toney, who just absolutely belts left-handed pitching. Hits leader, Cairo and Morales. They were number 1 there at bats. Morales and Cairo in there as well. Doubles, Robert Cairo at 43. Emery Morales had 32. Good for 4th. Triples, Fred Gerber. He had 7. Home runs. Emery Morales actually had 14 home runs. This is a guy that we did not think is going to have a whole bunch of power. Incredible, he led our team in home runs. RBI, there he is again, leading the league. Fred Gerber at number 7 with 63. Robert Cairo scored way more runs than everybody else, 90. Emery Morales 4th with Xavier Warren with 72. Stolen bases, Cairo just gets on base, steals second base, a lot of singles and walks turning into doubles for him. I love this kid. He has a bright future. Led the league in walks as well. I am really excited for Robert Cairo. And who's behind him? Emery Morales. And the rest, not really close. Winston Estrada does get in there with 65 as well. Cairo leads in on base. Morales and Estrada in that conversation as well. Cairo second in slugging, just behind Julio Estrada. Emery Morales at number 5, and OPS by a decent margin was led by Robert Cairo. Emery Morales 835. Wins, Jose Ornelas wins by a whole bunch. And if you're talking about just straight up starters, you have to go to David Moore, who had 12, which would have been basically 3rd, 4th if you took Ornelas out of the equation. We had a whole bunch of guys that didn't lose a bunch of games. We did a lot of winning in AA this year. Marino leads in saves. ERA, Jonas Grant, number 4 on that list. Home runs allowed, 7 all year for Grant. Just 9 all year for Corniel. 9 all year for Caruso. Again, we did not allow home runs really at all this year, which you love to see. That was a really big contention point for our development. Yamazaki had 2 shutouts. 149 strikeouts for Yamazaki and Corniel. Corniel did that in basically same amount of innings. So about 9 K per 9 for both of these guys. Complete games, we had 2, was our leader, and David Moore led or second in the league behind Adrian Handy with 185 innings pitched. Jose Ornelas down there as well. Walks around, nobody. Whip, David Moore, and Jonas Grant. Here we are in AAA as we have gone over the AA stats. And 330 batting average for Enrique Benitez and 917 OPS. This guy might be ready for prime time. He had a great year, especially power-wise against lefties. 3.45 in the average on base slugging, 917 OPS. Strikeouts and walks were right there around each other, which you love to see. Really great year. One of the best years, probably the best year by anybody, and he is our probably going to be our minor league position player of the year. Obviously, we won't see Troy Wood's numbers because he moved up, but he was having not as great as a season, but a pretty comparable season to Benitez. TJ White, he kind of came in. Let's see. David Howard, here is his first taste in AAA. He got about 66 at-bats, 2 home runs, 13 RBIs, 288 average. I'm fine with that. William Kang had a really, really good year. 25 home runs, really elevated that power. He got a quick taste in the major leagues, came back down, turned it on, was awesome. Had the power, almost 20 steals as well, 90 RBI, 800 OPS. Really solid season from William Kang after a very disappointing first year in our organization. We moved them up. We believed in the talent, and it showed. Rafi Velasquez had a really solid year against lefties primarily. This is going to be a big trade candidate. I'm not sure we're going to have him stick around with us after Winchester and Romo kind of locking up that catcher spot and Rubel behind him. And there he is right here. He did get hurt. He ended up fracturing his foot and missed most of the season, but he was really having a solid campaign. 18 home runs, just 86 games. We really like what we see from Josh Rubel. But Velasquez might be a trade candidate, and we love to see he got his trade value maybe a little bit up due to this big year in AAA. Lewis Pittman, another really good season. 15 steals, 22 home runs. You're going to see a lot of that high power numbers along with good stolen base numbers. So we love those athletic guys who hit the ball hard, run around, love playing athletically, and let their speed really help them out. Rubel, we talked about him. 18 home runs in limited time. Jordan Nwogu, just depth. Lauren Thomas, a second baseman we got, I believe, from the Yankees. He had a decent season. We liked what he saw from the bat with him. We thought maybe AAA is not bad for him, and he did well. 270 average. He's going to be basically a singles hitter, 18 stolen bases. That's what we're going to look for him in the future, and that's what we got. Lauren Parker, a guy that we had really high hopes for when we traded for him, but looks like those expectations might be coming down to earth. Did have 15 home runs and steal 10 bases with not a whole lot of athleticism. But yeah, an okay year, I guess. Khalil Watson, another guy we're going to be looking to moving on from probably. He finished the season cold. Cyrus Johnson, Leland Metzger did not have the year I thought he was going to have. Still improved in a decent amount of places. But would have liked to saw a little bit more from Leland Metzger, especially since we're going to be looking for him maybe to be our backup outfielder this upcoming year. So, yeah. And Benuelos, just depth catcher here. For the WAR side of things, everyone loves WAR. See who did what. 6 WAR for Benitez. Almost a 3 WAR for William Kang. Almost a 3 WAR for Khalil Watson. And Josh Rubel in his limited time had a WAR over 2. Everyone contributed enough. David Howard, a .6 WAR in basically 200 less at-bats than Nwogu. And Parker was our only negative everyday guy in the Diamond. For pitchers, again, we are going to sort by FIP. And we are going to look into these guys here. Dominic Knox, a really good season in the bullpen. We got him from Boston. He could be trying to crack the rotation for us. Or not the rotation, the bullpen for us next season. Not going to strike out a whole bunch of guys, but isn't going to walk any. Isn't basically a pitch-to-contact guy, get ground balls, the way he did all year. Brandon Eisert had a very solid season as well. FIP a little bit higher than his 2.47 ERA, but pretty solid as a lefty. We do need a lefty in our bullpen this year. 1 WAR out of the bullpen. Antonio Menendez, he did fine. An ERA way above his FIP, so kind of outperformed it there. 5 walks per nine, however, which is a bit concerning, but is striking out a bunch of guys. One of those just high volatile, has no clue where the ball's going, but neither do you, so it's kind of an advantage for him. Kind of relievers. We'll see what that brings him. He could be close to being a consideration. Fernando Benitez, one of our starters. He had a better FIP than his ERA suggests and pitched very well. A home run per 9 at 1. Maybe slightly high, but more likely average. Again, most of our guys in the major leagues have 1.5 or around there, so we'll take it. And the Ks per 9 around 9, like to see that. Walks under 3, love to see that. Marbury, kind of the same situation. Strikeouts a little bit less, the walks a little bit higher, but the home runs a lot less. Depth. Doug Kroger, he had a very good year. This is a guy who had like a 0 ERA for a while, 38 saves. We were actually talking about maybe bringing him up at a time. We let it sit a little bit. He ended up regressing a bit, so we held off. But this is a guy who's going to be competing next spring for a job. Terrell Beckman, a guy we picked up in minor league free agency, I believe, and just was super solid for us. Depth, we needed it. When guys had to get moved around, when guys had to get called up and called down. He did everything we asked from him. He'll be on the team next year. Not sure if he's going to be major league consideration, but had a great year. Henry Manuel just continues to post. The walk's a little high, strikeouts a little low, but he just continues to put up huge numbers. This is a guy who's going to have an opportunity to win a battle this coming spring. This is one of those guys that we drafted, and we always had guys ranked ahead of him, always had guys we thought had more potential, but he just kept outperforming, and this could be one of our best performing minor leaguers we've had since I've been here. Love to see it. Taylor Lehman, okay. Gunnar Hoglund, okay. Holden Powell did not do well with us in the major leagues, really did not do well in the minor leagues. Love to see him do something better. And Brandon Barrera, again, not do well with us up in 41 innings with the big league club. Has not really done well in 40 innings with the AAA club. This is a guy that we're probably going to be moving on from, especially with arbitration coming his way pretty soon. WAR leaders, because we all love that stat. 3.1 for Marbury, 3.1 for Benitez, 2.9 for Beckman, 2.9 for Manuel. So these four guys, just consistently 3 WAR guys all year. You love to see it. League leaders, leading your way in basically everything. Enrique Benitez, he's probably the minor league MVP for everybody. He's definitely ours. 330 batting average. Hits, he was 6th. At bats, he was not on this list, but Watson and Kang were. Doubles, who led in doubles? Benitez had 33. Jeffrey Lord, good Lord, 49 doubles for him. He looks really good. I like that. I do like a guy that can just get a whole bunch of doubles. I'm a double slut a little bit. 33 for Benitez. I will take it. Triples, 5 for Benitez, using that speed and that cavernous ballpark we have out there. William Kang leads everybody in home runs. Right behind should be major leaguer Luis Toribio, who has gotten 410 at-bats and has 8 major league home runs. He had 23 home runs this year in AAA, and Lewis Pittman right there with 22. So our 2 third basemen coming through. William Kang, RBIs 91. Lewis Pittman, RBIs 81. Those two are good for top 3 in the league behind Alec Burleson, kind of sandwiched in there. Another full-time major leaguer at a point of his career. So, good company to be in. Benitez and Kang both had 80 runs. They lead the league. Stolen bases, Benitez had 5, right behind a couple guys, including Jeffrey Lord, who had basically 50 doubles and 35 stolen bases. Here's Russell Brandon, a guy we kept our eye on. He could be breaking Houston's starting lineup pretty soon, it seems like. Base on balls, Kawal Watson walked a bunch. Benitez walked a bunch as well. Benitez, only guy in AAA with a 400-plus OBP. Lauren Thomas, a 356. Benitez, best average, best slugging, best on base, and decent amount best OPS. An absolutely incredible season. Kang had the 7th highest OPS, and Kang had the 5th highest slugging. And Thomas, again, the 7th highest on base. Pitching-wise, wins, Taylor Lehman had 12. That was our representative there. Henry Manuel only lost 5 games all year. Good for top 2 in the league. Saves went Doug Kroger. He had 38. He's in there. ERA title did not go to Manuel, but he wasn't far off. Troy Watson was the guy who got it. Yeah, Nick Mears, old friend Nick Mears. Not a friend of mine, I'll tell you that. And Henry Manuel. So 2 guys who are way older than Manuel, just 21 years old, 33, 32, and then him right there. Look at Jay Groom. Remember when Jay Groom was supposed to be good? Who remembers that? Matthew Means is the only other comparable guy in the same range as Manuel. Home runs allowed. Mark Marbury down there only gave up 13 all year. There was only 8 total shutouts all year, 7 total shutouts all year. It is a very high run production league in the Pacific Coast League. And shout out Juan Pena. Why not? Strikeouts. Fernando Benitez had 149 of them. He ranked 7th. Complete game, same thing. Only 7 of them. Innings pitched. Henry Manuel had 169. Nice. Walks allowed. Benitez only gave up 44. Beckman only 47. And the whip, Terrell Beckman and Henry Manuel cracked the top 8 in AAA. Looking at the stats for your NL West champion, Colorado Rockies, again, for the first time in team history, we have won the division outright. And look at these offensive seasons. For everybody, this is how we got it. 1,000 OPS for Nolan Jones, who was absolutely outstanding. 44 doubles, first time in his career, second time over 30. That was back to the first season of our of my tenure here, and he just really unlocked the doubles, which unlocked everything. It again, just finding that gap power, which he had the potential for. Obviously, he was swinging at the fences a lot. Finished a lot of his seasons with more home runs than doubles. But this year, it's really went to that line drive swing, and this is one of the best contracts we have signed in Rockies history. All of these years under that extension, and he had basically a 900, high 800 OPS, a couple outliers here and there, but pretty much for the whole time. And this has been awesome to see him grow. Surpassed over 200 home runs this year. Does actually have more doubles career than home runs after this big leap. But yeah, this is a crazy season for Nolan Jones. He was awesome. Troy Wood in some limited action, 14 games with us at 18 hits. Yeah, if this can hold up for over 4 home runs over a whole season, yeah, we're going to have a really good guy to plug into our lineup and continue this offensive train. Jazz Chisholm, if he keeps breaking career highs, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame off of just these 4 years in Colorado alone. 40 home runs, first time breaking that. Almost 110 RBIs. Walks were way up. Strikeouts were kind of in between these 2 seasons here. Just 10 stolen bases. Isn't really using his legs as much anymore on the base paths or at least stealing. And with all that, actually finished with a lower OPS than the last 2 seasons. I guess, really the doubles. I mean, had 40 home runs, but didn't clear 30 doubles for the second time. With us, 153 hits, 88 runs, just continues to be an absolute mad lad. Tommy Domine had the season, finally, at his age 22 year, which, again, we've had him for a long time. 4 years he's been on our team, so it's like it's been forever for him to pick up, but we forget he's only 22. And it did miss a little bit of time, it looks like. Just played 116 games, but 20 doubles, 20 home runs, 73 RBI, 50 walks, OPS at 877, 300 batting average, 500 slugging. This is the Tommy Domine I traded for, and I think he can, if he does this for 10 straight years, we're going to have an incredibly fantastic run here with Domine in Colorado. He was awesome. Nolan Gorman, he also missed some time on the shelf, but he was able to muscle out 27 home runs, which is 2 more than last year, where that was a struggle year for him. Definitely a bounce back season. Not quite his 2028, but definitely surpassing his 2029. And I think this is what Nolan Gorman will be. 840 OPS. He's going to strike out a little bit, but he's going to walk a good amount. He's going to hit some home runs. He's going to drive in some runs. He's going to do the darn thing. Dale Amador, he continues to be awesome. The OPS a little bit lower than last year, but he clears 30 home runs for the first time. Almost had those same doubles. Almost had 200 hits. Played in all but 4 games for us. 95 RBI from the number 2 spot, a career high. The walks went way down. And, he just didn't draw walks this year. The lowest he had was since 2025. And even then, he only played 108 games there. Like 50 more games, drew 2 more walks. Just a very weird year. Struck out a little bit more than we're accustomed to him seeing. So that on-base percentage just being low really, but went higher in batting average, higher in slugging, set career highs in both of those. Just a very odd season for Amador, at least walking-wise, but still doing the damn thing. Stephen Kwan really tapped into the power this year. 17 home runs, almost a career high for him, but 66 RBI, a career high. But high batting average, gets on base a good chunk. Love to see it. Drew Romo had easily his best season by far. Like a league average bat season, 14 home runs, 43 RBI. Very reminiscent of 2026 with the power, but then you add on 10 more doubles, big boost in batting average, big boost in on base, and a big boost in the slugging to that. On top of his defense, he was a 4-WAR player for us this year. You love to see it. Zeke Tovar had a very tough start to the season, but did come around a bit. Obviously last year he was hurt, but 734 OPS, the lowest since he signed this big contract, other than last year. But he did come around. That's like 7th, 8th for us. And if you're getting a 730 OPS with 20 home runs from that spot, you will take it. Tyrone Gehringer, a good year off the bench. Sterling Thompson, his first year, again, struggling a little bit. The lefties gave him some issues, but 16 home runs, 22 doubles, 63 RBI. Slug 710. This is your 9 hitter. You'll take it. 3 WAR, played good. Mark Winchester, Benny Montgomery, and Juan Guerrero all had solid seasons off of the bench. Really no disappointments by anybody this year. 6 WAR season for Nolan Jones, 6 WAR season for Jazz, 5.5 for Adale Amador, 5 for Quan, almost over 4.5 for Tovar, and about 4 WAR for both Domine and Romo, and then a 3 WAR for Thompson. So that means everybody other than our DH was at least a 3+ WAR player, and Thompson kind of towards the end came a little like platoon guy with Wood towards the end of things. So this is awesome. This is easily our most complete and best team, I would say, at least offensively, and that says a whole bunch. Pitchers, let's go to our favorite spot on the pitching side of things. Let's sort by FIP, and let's get going. Gregory Santos, again, another super solid year. That's why we brought him in from Seattle to just be that setup man, and he's been nothing but brilliant in that role. A .6 WAR, isn't striking out really anybody, which is really weird. Let's see where that drops a big bit. He did not get a whole bunch of strikeouts. Only 19 in 38 innings, which is odd. So digress, but still a 3.16 FIP. James Mora sneakily had the best rotation season by anybody, but didn't show it. Home runs and walks are in super great places. A 10+ K per 9, 212 strikeouts, but just give up hits and ended up with a 4.92 ERA. But again, the 3.46 FIP, 3.5 WAR. He was spectacular, but also not. It's very weird season for James Mora. But really on paper, on the underlying numbers, say he was really, really good. Ryan Helsley, we got from the deadline. Walked a bunch of guys, but struck out a bunch of guys. That's his MO. And 27 innings with us, basically all these innings with us. Fantastic. Marco Garcia, up and down, but really solid year in the bullpen. Ended up pitching almost 120 innings for us. K per 9 over 9. WAR just about 2 out of the bullpen. He was solid. Bobby White, a good year. FIP under the ERA. ERA just around like 4.2. But struck out guys at an improved rate this year. Last year was an outlier in terms of the strikeouts. Yeah, he was about like 8 and 9. Somewhere in there. Last year, under 8 for the first and only time in his career. And he's been awesome as well. Bo Brisky, a 3.60 ERA, a 3.86 FIP, one of our best guys in the bullpen. I don't think has yet to allow a run in the postseason. And here we are coming up on the postseason. Riley Pint, solid season. JJ Rose, his year, probably the best on paper for all of our starters. 3.6 ERA, 2 WAR season, 9.9 Ks per 9. The walks are a little higher than in years past. Home run rate about the same. FIP, because of the walks, a little bit higher. Jose Calderon, another year, get your Marlboro Reds out. Blew less saves this year, converted less saves, however, with a little bit less opportunities. But 41 out of 47 ain't bad over a full season, I guess. But still, just continues to just be weird. Like these numbers look awesome, but then you get into the games and you see them, and you're like, ugh, kind of hurts your stomach a bit. Bud Leonard had probably the most 1-for-1 season. The FIP and the ERA pretty much identical. The Ks per 9 dropped down under 10 for the first time, I believe. Well, it was hovering around 10 the last 3 years. This year, below 9 for the first time. But the walks came down, the home runs went a little bit up, and because of that, the FIP went up as well. Vinny Garcia did miss some time, but was kind of our multi-inning guy. He was great. He was awesome. He was fine. This is what you want from those types of guys. Rafael Parra would be the starter that heads to the bullpen, I believe, for us. Did start all 32 games this year. 12-12 on the year. Very solid for your first go-around in the major leagues. We really like what Parra has done for us in the past and what he will continue to do for us in the future. But this year, as the rookie, he'll go to the bullpen. Adbert Alzolay, it's been fine. Relief pitcher depth. FIP seems a little concerning, a whole run and a half above his ERA, but we're going to do it. And then Dan Wyatt in just limited actions, was, I guess, okay, but whatever. War says Jane Moore was our best pitcher. We got White, Rose, Leonard, and Garcia also there. Everyone, basically, most of our rotation had an ERA over 2, with Parra 1.6 and Marco Garcia out there with 1.9 in the bullpen. And again, Dan Wyatt, only negative player, and he only faced 12 total batters all season. We're going to look at some career statistics before we look around the league, just kind of catch up. Our pitchers are relatively young, but 48 wins for Bud Leonard. Bobby White has cracked 50 losses. And yeah, so this is where we stand in terms of career. Saves 160 for Alzolay, 155 for Helsley. None of those with us, I don't believe. And 97 for Calderon. And Marco Garcia had 7 saves this year, I believe. Bud Leonard already 771 innings pitched. Bobby Wright right behind him. Most walks is Bobby White. Most strikeouts is Bud Leonard. Best career ERA, Helsley, Santos. Of our guys, all of our starters have a career ERA a little bit over 4, but nobody over 5, which is nice. And let's see, career WAR. We really want to see career WAR. 9.4 for Leonard, 7.4 for White, 6.9 nice for James Mora, and 6.5 for Rose. 10K per 9 for these 3, and then 9K per 9 for these guys. And career FIP looks like this for our position players. So this is going to have a little bit more fun statistics. 270 home runs for Jazz Chisholm, 240 basically for Gorman, over 200 for Nolan Jones. We did see Amador hit his 100th career home run this year, and so did we see Stephen Kwan do it as well. Dominic has 50 total for his career now. And that is where we stand there. Hits. Next hit is number 1,500 for Stephen Kwan. Most likely won't be getting that in a Rockies uniform, but you never know. And Amador close to 1,000. We probably saw Tovar get over 1,000 with us this year, but Amador will have that next year. RBI 750 for Jazz Chisholm, which is fun. Nolan Gorman approaching 500 and Nolan Jones approaching 600. Stolen bases, Stephen Kwan around 200 for his career. Here are your batting average leaders. 285 for Nolan Jones for his career is awesome. You forget how high of an average he hits for. I think we so focus on his power, his speed, his fielding, but he's a really good contact bat as well, which you love to see. Your on base leaders, slugging leaders, and your OPS leaders in their careers. Jones about 900. Strikeouts, doubles, 320 for Kwan, 250 for Jazz, 230 for Nolan Jones, and 200 for Amador. Gorman slowly creeping up there. 53 triples for Jazz Chisholm, which is always nice. And your career WAR leader, Stephen Kwan, about 44. Nolan Jones behind him at 33. Chisholm 31, and Ezequiel Tovar at 26. Amador and Gorman all above double-digit WAR as well. Your league leaders are here, and Jackson Holliday is going to win MVP. I mean, look at this season. Like, good golly, Miss Molly. Absolutely cranking it for the first year in this massive contract for San Diego. Deserve every penny of it. Nolan Jones, number 2 in batting average in the league. Amador behind Holliday in terms of total hits. Amador led in at-bats, and I think that's really mostly due to didn't walk as much. So that was like 30 at-bats he gained because he didn't walk. Man Dominguez, really good player, really solid player for Miami, and he put up a really, really solid year for them. Marshall Whalen, again, another young guy up here in the at-bats total. Doubles went to Holliday, almost had 60 this year. Jesus Christ, this guy would just hit extra base hits. He had 209 hits total. Let's see, that is 96 plus 8 is 104. So literally half of his hits were extra base hits. That gives you a 664 slugging percentage. It's Barry Bonds shit. That's so ridiculous. Shohei with almost 50 doubles, and Nolan Jones and Adele Amador were there with 44 and 42 apiece. Triples, Jung-Hoo Lee, and triples alley there. Home runs was James Wood, and then you had a three-way tie with Christian Encarnacion, who really had a breakout season this year for the first year in his career. Look at that, just outputting power, and great time to do it with the contracts coming up. Jackson Holiday and Jazz Chisholm all had 40 as well. RBI went to Holiday, Chisholm there at number 5, tied with O'Neal Cruz. Runs, Amador and Jones had over 100 for us, and one of 5 players in the National League with over 100 runs. Stolen bases went to Willie Castro. Stephen Kwan down at the bottom of the list with 24, representing the Rockies. Walks leaders were not on the list, but Juan Soto, as always, tops the list. Jackson Holiday just beat Nolan Jones for on-base percentage. Slugging percentage does as well, and OPS. Those are your 2 best hitters in the league, Jackson Holiday, Nolan Jones. We all saw it coming. Pitching-wise, wins. We don't have a wins leader, but Bobby Miller and Justin Steele, part of that Triple Crown threat there. Thomas White just had 1 loss all year. He only started 1 game. This is all bullpen innings for him, so one of the best bullpen pieces out there. Saves leaders. It was Jose Hernandez breaking 50 again, right? Yeah, last year had 54. This year had 51. He's awesome. Excuse me. ERA title goes to Sandy Alcantara. Home run preventers, Bobby Miller leads that list. James Nishi had 4 complete game shutouts. He's an absolute beast. We talked about him. Already so highly touted, just 22 years old. This guy is an absolute stud. Bud Leonard had 2 shutouts himself. Strikeouts, James Mora just edged out by Paul Skeens. Skeens 188 pitches. Mora 183 pitches. So, 4 innings to give 4 strikeouts. So, yeah, Paul Skeens is lit. And anytime that you're kind of in the same breath as Paul Skeens, very good. Skeens would be a free agent this year. You'll see how much money he commands on the open market. I'm going to guess a whole lot. Look at that. Bobby White right there on the bottom, 190 for him. Nishi went the distance 6 separate times. He's an absolute superstar in the making. Bud Leonard, his 2 complete games were both shutouts. Innings pitched, Nishi 216. One of 6, to go over 200 innings. We didn't have a guy on the top 8. James Mora did not allow walks. He won't do it. He refuses to do it. He'll let you hit the ball. He will not let you see ball 4. Whip leaders, we have no one on this list. Pitching war, we had James Mora, the 7th most valuable pitcher, 3.5, but Bobby Miller taking that crown at 4.9 war. He's an absolute stud, and I'm kind of glad we don't have to see him in the playoffs because he is tough to beat. Luis Garcia with a 4 war season. He was awesome as well. Batting war leaders, Jackson Holiday 9. Dylan Cruz just about a 9 war as well, and Nolan Jones a 6.2 war. That was good for 7th. Jefferson Cuero, Corbin Carroll, Fernando Tatis Jr., Max Clark, Geraldo Perdomo also sprinkled on this list. Let's go to the American League. Junior Caminero, absolute stud, 345 batting average. Evan Carter, stud, 340 batting average. Eddie Dorda, good, 339 batting average. Whole lot of 300 hitters here in the American League. Hits was Caminero. At bats was Noel V. Marte. Doubles, Jordan Lawler with 50, 47 for Walker Jenkins. 15 triples for Ellie De La Cruz, and he broke his foot kind of in September or late August. Only played 130 games and had 14 triples in the alley there in the Triangle in Fenway Park, the most beautiful ballpark of all time. Walker Jenkins, 42 home runs. Tristan Casas and Colton Cowser each had 40 plus as well. Cowser leads in RBI at 133. Brooks Lee and Walker Jenkins, 2 teammates, lead the way in runs, 123, 122 apiece. The Twins also very good back in the mix in the playoffs. Thomas Valdez, 32 stolen bases, leads the American League for the Orioles. Ramses Feldman, a guy that we've kept our eye on, the number 1 overall pick a couple of years ago. He has had a very good career in Chicago so far, and he had 31 stolen bags. Nolan Shanuel and Curtis Mead, two Rays, got on base via the base on balls more than anybody else. On base, Caminero, slugging Carter, OPS, Evan Carter, and Caminero right there, over 1,000. Walker Jenkins, Alex Kirilloff behind them. Pitching wins, Kyle Bradish. Try to trade for him, just no dice getting in a deal, and we would have loved to have him in the back end of or just in our rotation somewhere. We would have found a place for him. 18 wins. Leads the American League. 50 saves for Nick Sandlin. 50 saves from Ron Marinaccio. Awesome years for these two guys. They're the only two of three pitchers in the entire league to beat 50. So great for them. Shane McClanahan, ERA title at 2.74. Kyle Bradish had it for most of the year. Ends up with a 2.97. Still pretty good if you ask me. Home runs allowed, Soroka and Manoah prevented them better than anybody. Shutouts, Urquidy and Todd Smith had 3 apiece. Spencer Strider, 221 strikeouts, and Brady McCain, another one of those young studs. He's already been doing it for so long. He's only just 21 years old, and the strikeout numbers are insanely impressive. 11 Ks per 9. Crazy. For example, 177 innings pitched, 192 innings pitched, and the strikeout difference was 4. So the innings pitched was what, like 20, 15? Strikeouts 4. Yeah, Brady McCain is coming for records. Jack Barger, the rookie of the year last year, he also had 269 strikeouts last year in 198 innings. This year, 215 and 170 as a starter, so probably you can assume saving a little bit more of that juice to go deeper into games. And yeah, he was a monster still. Job and Snell reached 200 strikeouts as well. Todd Smith, 230 innings pitched as a reliever. Also came 20 starts and maybe rookie of the year for the Mariners. Brian Moore, another guy that we saw in the draft. So I like seeing these guys that we've seen in the past have developed and what they're doing now. And this is one of those guys. We saw Brian Moore a couple drafts ago. Now with the Angels, not giving up walks. Kyle Harrison, Bryce Miller, Shane McClanahan, the best whip leaders. Pitching war went to Brady McCain with those strikeouts. Kyle Bradish and Kyle Harrison, David Peterson, all right there. Funny how the Red Sox had 2 of the best starters in all of the game, and yet did not do anything with their team because their team just isn't good. Evan Carter, your most valuable player if you're looking at war alone. Junior Caminero, who probably would be the MVP this year, 8.5, and Walker Jenkins, Pico Armstrong, all had 8 wars as well. Kyle T, look at that. Big 7.5 war season. I had an absolutely incredible year. Back-to-back years over 27 home runs. And these war totals really adding up for the young catcher. Your award winners for this year: Jackson Holliday, no surprise, your MVP in the National League. Dylan Cruz and Christian Encarnacion Strand come behind him. Cy Young goes to Paul Skeens with Bobby Miller and Shota Imanaga behind him. Nolan Jones, second for the batting title, but this year from Holliday, too damn good. Andrew Moore deservingly gets the reliever of the year, an ERA sub-1, 45 saves. He was absolutely incredible. Michael Reed ends up being a rookie of the year. Randall Franco, the young superstar in the making, he picks up number 2 on that list. Just 18 years old. He's going to be so good. Hank Aaron Award, Nolan Jones came second in that race. Gold Glovers, here you go. Any of our guys make this list. Adele Amador wins a Gold Glove at second base. I think that's his first career honor there. And if you saw on the rest of that, he also picked up some more hardware. Sterling Thompson, third in the Gold Glove race as Brian Hayes wins it back-to-back years. Ezekiel Tovar just beat out by Bryce Terang. And Jazz Chisholm almost picks up a Gold Glove in the outfield, but Alex Verdugo has a monopoly on that in the National League. Dylan Cruz picks up his second in a row, and Corbin Carroll gets his first career, or how many Gold Gloves is his second career Gold Glove for Corbin Carroll. Silver Sluggers go as follows: Shohei Ohtani, Henry Davis, Christian Encarnacion Strand at first base, and Adele Amador, best hitting second baseman, best hitting fielding second baseman. I'd say he's just the best second baseman. Jackson Holliday, of course, at short. O'Neal Cruz, At third now, O'Neal Cruz at short. Dylan Cruz in the outfield. You'll see Jazz Chisholm comes in fourth with Cruz, Tatis, and James Wood having better seasons, they say. American League, Colton Cowser is your MVP. Wow, no Caminero or Evan Carter. That is crazy. I think there is a snub going on. But former Oriole, now Blue Jay, Colton Cowser, picks up where former Oriole and teammate Jackson Holliday left off in the American League. Kyle Bradish, your Cy Young. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he looks like he deserves it. Caminero, your batting title at 345, 35, 4 home runs, 103 RBI. Yeah, I don't know. I guess. I mean, he's still at 300, 40 RBI, 40 home runs, 130 RBI, I guess. But I don't know. Just me. I would have went the other way. Reliever of the Year, Sandlin, deserved. Todd Smith, Rookie of the Year, deserved. Evan Carter, your Hank Aaron Award, deserved. It's weird that your MVP, who did mostly by offensive stats, did not finish top 3 in basically the offensive MVP award. I don't know. Whatever. Just me. Here are your Gold Glovers in the AL. Anthony Volpe, Joey Weimer, Pete Crow Armstrong, and Sal Frelick. And then your Silver Sluggers in the American League. See who had some really good seasons. Casas, Corey Seager now at first base. He looks really, really good still. He just is incredible. Gunnar Henderson's been having some good years, and Detroit just hasn't got to the playoffs yet. Bobby Witt, now that Big Dog is out of the race, he's able to pick up some Silver Sluggers. Just his second. I mean, where those holes are, or where Jackson Holliday was. So there's a Jackson Holliday size hole out of the American League, which is nice to see. Walker Jenkins gets one, Colton Cowser gets one, Evan Carter gets one, and that's it for your Silver Sluggers. Here it is. Us against Cincinnati. Pittsburgh against Arizona. The winner of our matchup heads to the bank, face Philadelphia. The winner of Pittsburgh, Arizona goes Chicago. Cleveland, Los Angeles with the right to play Minnesota, and Tampa Bay, Chicago with the right to play Houston. Well, that will do it here for another riveting episode, another season of the Rockies down. The postseason right around the corner. We're the number 3 seed, the highest ranking we've had. The first time ever we have won the NL West. Let's get it, boys and girls. I cannot wait. I am so excited. We will see you next time here with more Rockies.